All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Gonna be touching on the top prop bets in college basketball today. March Madness is going on. Got you guys covered with the Underdog and PrizePicks picks there, as well as touching on some NBA props and some golf props as well. With that, let's go ahead and get into it. So hopefully, as you guys know, I did a live stream yesterday. The bet of the day from that video ended up cashing, so another 2 units of profit, kind of on a little bit of a hot streak. So in a way, I wouldn't be surprised if honestly today isn't that good of a day, just because we have been on a pretty good hot stretch for the past like 5 days now. So we'll see, but we are gaining some decent edges here between PrizePicks and Underdog. So during yesterday's video with the college basketball coverage, I said I kind of do want to wait until we get these Underdog props out, because typically they are more aggressive than PrizePicks. And yeah, that is what we are seeing. So these first two, Trey Alexander and Ryan Kalkbrenner, we're going to see that the under fantasy points is being heavily favored on Underdog. So these are going to be much better bets on Underdog than they are on PrizePicks. So like I already want to run those out on Underdog. I was already thinking about doing that on PrizePicks, but in a way, I might actually try to middle these first four. And what I mean by that is these first four, clearly we can see that the edge is going to be on Underdog for them, but maybe Underdog is right. Maybe Underdog is not the outlier data point here. Now we're pulling in the fantasy score prop bets from several different sports books. The projection data has been pretty accurate thus far this season, but we can clearly see that they're on paper the outlier in the data points for these first four fantasy score prop bets. But maybe, just maybe, Underdog is right. And so I don't mind the idea of also, if I'm placing these 4 under bets on Underdog, to also then run the overs for PrizePicks, because a prop should never be a 2 for a difference. That just should never be happening. And so I do think we are getting the edge there. I do want to call this one specifically on PrizePicks, guys, and I'll get into PrizePicks here in a second, but that one is seemingly a good edge because it's going to be a decent prop line difference there, 1.65, and the day is already favoring the over there as well. And if we just look at all the prop bets that give us the best edges, and again, I don't really know why this happens, but it's been happening the whole year. We've had success for the most part using these, is that, and I think it's just people want to bet the overs more frequently. So I think Underdog just naturally raises their lines a little bit higher, but a lot of the unders are being favored today. And so maybe there's something to that. I do want to call it a couple of over fantasy score prop bets that are popping really. We got Furphy, is that how you say his name? For over fantasy points at 24.2 or so. We can see, pretty decent edge that we are getting there. So if you guys are kind of looking for an outlier bet, that one does seem to be an outlier because, again, for the most part, Underdog is typically more aggressive with the projections. So the fact that that one is telling us to bet the over, that one stands out to me. So again, we are getting some pretty good bets there at Underdog. Let's go and jump into PrizePicks as well for you guys. So PrizePicks, I do think we are getting a decent amount of good prop bets as well. So again, we could just sort by the prop line differences just to see where we are getting edges as well. It's going to be more of the same stuff, but really what I want to show you guys here is Isaiah Stevens for over fantasy score. Now that's not a big difference. It's only 0.05 for a difference. Like that's not that big. But like this Gilbert prop, again, which data point seems to be the outlier here? The average sportsbook line has it set at 28. The projection data has it set at 29.5. Underdog has it set at 29.2 or so. And so the PrizePicks line at 27.5 seems to be the edge there. So that'd be one where I am okay betting the over as well. But I know a lot of people are going to want some other prop bets that aren't fantasy score prop bets, even though they're the biggest edges. I know not everyone has the opportunity to bet those, but we are getting some pretty good EV bets as well. Like this one for under points for Sammy Hunter. That's a clear edge that we are getting. And again, a lot of these prop bets will probably be updated throughout the day. We'll see. This is going to be something that I'm going to continuously manually refresh throughout the day, just so we are gaining edges. Basically, for each segment start time, I'm going to be kind of doing refreshes, manual refreshes, because I do think we are getting some decent edges here. So with that, let's go ahead, and you guys can see all the EV bets that we were getting. I'll show you guys the bet of the day at the end of the video. But with that, let's jump into some NBA real quick, seeing if we're getting any good prop bets there. And we kind of are. Jalen Suggs for over points and assists. I believe one of his prop bets were on the popular tab today, over points. So theoretically, the better bet on paper is actually going to be points and assists. I really don't get where these popular bets come from. Like, to me, it's just so crazy that there's already 16,000 people that bet MPJ for over 16.5 points. And you look at the board, it's like, that's not one that's really popping up as a great prop bet. Like, I don't know, that just blows my mind. But we are seeing Jalen Suggs. If you were thinking that you want to bet him for over points, the better bet would actually be points and assists. Do want to call it that the projection data is not saying that, though. The projection data has his points and assists at 12.8. The issue with Jalen Suggs and really Orlando the whole season has been minutes. you can't really trust their minutes. Now, I do think he's going to be someone we can look at today. I think he's someone that I'm definitely happy to play. And looking at Underdog, like right now, we are getting a couple of good prop bets. You know, if you guys like any of them, Fred VanVleet over 3.5 rebounds, slight edge there, seemingly. Fred VanVleet for under assist, slight edge there. Like, we got some slight edges here for NBA purposes as well. Jumping into golf real quick just to see a little bit as expected, I will say. The course is playing easier today, and I think that's simply because the weather is projected to be much worse tomorrow. You know, we'll see. Like, I don't really have a big take on what we should be doing from that. Like, Xander to finish, I would say understrokes would actually be the better bet. So for me, golf wise today, even with some of these prop line differences that we are getting, I think it's more just the wait and see approach. Like, I already got some exposure with Underdog yesterday. Some of those prop bets are looking good, but for the most part, I just don't feel the need to chase any of those lines. And so we are gaining a decent amount of prop line differences once again, guys, for the most part. But like, if you guys like any of these ones, by all means, go for it. Seemingly decent, but not enough for me to really go in on as well. So with that, let's go on and get into the bet of the day for both sites. All right, so looking at it, guys, these are going to be my two favorite bets on PrizePicks today. Like, this would be the bet of the day per se, but I also do want to call it that with the Underdog bets I'm going to show you, I'm also going to be using those over bets on PrizePicks because I'm going to be betting the under on Underdog. So I just want to make that clear. Not as much. It's kind of like a hedge, but at the same time, the prop bets do have a chance to middle. And so I do think that this could be worthwhile. So it is kind of a weird stack. Don't get me wrong, like betting on Creighton for all the unders, but at the same time, it's kind of saying that the game's going to blow out pretty fast. I really think that's probably why Vegas is thinking that their under fantasy scores are going to hit, why they're not propping them up as much. Tough to say for sure. Heck, maybe the other team just protects the basketball much better. You know, again, this is college basketball, March Madness. Tough to know for sure with all these teams and whatnot, right? But at the same time, I'm going to be betting the overs for these three for sure, not DD Grant. And so if you're looking for more of some middling bets, these would be better ones where you could bet the overs for these guys and then bet the unders for these guys on Underdog and then bet the overs on PrizePicks, if that makes sense. Because again, on paper, the bets are definitely better on Underdog, but we do see time and time again that it's more, with college basketball, it's more either the sportsbooks are right one day or Underdog's right one day or PrizePicks is right one day. It seems to be more like that. So I don't mind the idea of stacking, really just betting on PrizePicks or Underdog to be more correct than the other, and then hoping that obviously all four hit. Just want to remind you guys, if you guys do choose to use the Underdog bet slips from today and you guys have never signed up before, use the promo code 95. That's just going to be another way to help out the channel. Another way that you guys can help out the channel is just by liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss out on any of the great prop bets. Good luck today, guys. Let's have a good slate. If you guys want access to some of the tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com, available for $10 a month. All right, thanks for watching, and as always, let's keep cashing.